Welcome, everyone, to the very first episode of SHU Doing. I am Aaron Burrell alongside my distinguished host, Paul Guarino.
What's up?
We are joined with our very first guest, Sabrina Garone.
Hi, thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We are going to get through your career to date. We're going to talk about what you are doing, how Sacred Heart has helped you along your journey, and how we hope to see what you are doing in the future, what SHU are doing in the future. So I guess to start, where are you from? And yeah, we'll go from there.
I'm from Long Island originally, as most people who come to Sacred Heart are.
So why Sacred Heart? What made Sacred Heart the school for you?
Well, initially I came in as an English major, and also I had the opportunity to do theater, so that's how I came to Sacred Heart in the first place. But that didn't last very long. I found the SCMA program much more fun and interesting. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, then what year did you graduate?
2018.
Nice. So then I guess like right after college, like what was your goal? Like what kind of job did you want? And then like where did you go from there?
I really wasn't sure. I knew I liked writing, so as long as it was something writing heavy, I think I would have been happy. But right after graduating, one of my professors recommended I go out for a position at WSHU Public Radio. There was a fellowship position open, and it would have been like a graduate assistant program as well. So I could go to the master's program for 2 years. So that's how I got involved in WSHU Public Radio, and I never left.
Oh, that's dope.
It is. So it's 2018, 2-year program. We get to 2020. Obviously, we know the world shuts down.
Yes.
Talk us through what's going on in your world at that time and how you are adjusting to obviously a very changing world.
Right. Well, I got lucky that my last class was the week before the world shut down in March 2020, and then we just had some, ongoing projects we could do on our own. So I got lucky there. But after graduating in August, that was still like the height of all the pandemic craziness, and applying for jobs was incredibly frustrating. I guess a lot of companies were downsizing or, on a hiring freeze or whatever it was. So threw out my resume to as many places as I could. And then luckily the station came back to me with some freelance opportunities. And that's what eventually led to the full-time job with WSHU. So I got very lucky there.
And what is your full-time job at WSHU?
Now I'm a producer.
You're a producer. And what show do you produce?
I work on a variety of different things every day, but I'm primarily responsible for our daily podcast, which takes all the stories, all the local stories from our newscast and puts it into like a short, very digestible mini podcast, so people don't have to listen live on the radio anymore. They can check it out at their own convenience. And that happened after COVID because no one's sitting in their cars on a commute anymore. So we really had to meet people where they were. So that's my primary responsibility. And then I work on other like long form podcasts as they come up. So I've done 2 seasons of our climate podcast, Higher Ground, Still Newtown, Sunday Baroque Conversations. And then when I have some free time in my day, I do my own reporting. So it's something different every day.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
And then what kind of like internships did you have that kind of led you to that?
I worked at a lot of like local media outlets. So I started out as a intern at my hometown newspaper,
Right.
which was a very small team of 3 people, but
Yeah.
it was a great experience because they really valued, one, the fact that I was from the town, so I knew the community super well, and they really valued my ideas. And it was great that I could build up a portfolio of things that I actually really did have a hand in. I wasn't just a number or getting somebody coffee. So that was great. I would actually recommend all students try that at least once rather than these tremendous internship programs. I mean, I've never tried one, but, from my experience, that was really valuable in local media.
Very interesting. So your hometown paper, you get into what was let's go into your first assignment. How were you feeling? You're probably out in the field or what were you doing?
Yeah, honestly, the first assignment was torture because my editor made me do this thing where I had to literally go downtown and walk into places and talk to business owners. Or he was like, oh, go to a diner and talk to somebody at the bar and look for story ideas. I'm like, this is my worst nightmare. But I did it, and it actually really did inspire a lot of cool stories. One girl was saying she wanted to see more like stories about animals. So that got me very much into like wildlife stories, which then carried over into WSHU with the climate podcast Higher Ground, like I just mentioned. So it was all, worth it despite it being super awkward at first.
So yeah, I mean, it's obviously it's difficult going out into the field. Just you have no idea it's your first assignment. So as you progress through there, let's talk about some lessons you learned from your first internship that you now took. I mean, you mentioned the animals and now your climate podcast. What else?
Well, it really, again, taught me to put myself out there. I'm a very shy person, so it was good that it forced me to like meet people and get to know the community and make contacts in that way. It was also a different style of writing than I was used to. At Sacred Heart, I did more like stuff for the TV station, which is like very short. This was all long form pieces. So yeah, that was the biggest takeaway, was just that style of writing and building up that confidence and talking to people.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I guess so. Like, what advice would you give to like a student right now? Either, I guess, trying to get an internship or a job.
Yeah, not to repeat myself, but again, I would really recommend students check out some local media outlets. They could really use the help. And yeah, I think your contributions will really be valued, because again, those are usually smaller companies. And I know there's kind of like a negative connotation, especially like in local journalism, but you might find that you actually really like it. That's what I found.
Yeah, for sure. What's like your dream job?
Well, I'm happy doing the podcasting, but I think it would be great to do something that's not news related. Like, I used to be such a news junkie, and now I just definitely have like news fatigue. Like after work, I'm not listening to anything news related. Entertainment or sports or something like that is where my interest lies. So it'd be cool to try that in the future. But for now, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah,
I understand the news fatigue. Similarly, when I started at NBC Sports for a few years, and I was similar. I had sports fatigue. I love sports. I played sports. I played soccer here at Sacred Heart. I would go home and I was like, the last thing I want to see is anyone playing any sort of sport. And now I work in like news, and similarly, when I'm home, I'm just like, I want anything. I watch like, I don't know, Disney Plus, whatever, just like something to take my mind off of the fact that we're in news. So
exactly, yes.
So yeah, how do you separate that? When you go home, what are you doing to take your mind off of it? Because I think there's a big part of working is
work-life balance.
Work-life balance,
Totally,
exactly.
yeah.
So
I try to do as many like non-tech related things as possible, like read, or like I'm taking like watercolor painting classes online. Like I just need to get my eyes off the screen is like really important to me. And I do love listening to podcasts, but yeah, they're not related to anything serious or news or anything of that sort.
Yeah, even like to that point, like I don't even watch sports that much. Like I just followed on Twitter or whatnot. Even like podcasting, I was really big into it, listening to it. Now I don't even really listen to it that much, just because like I'm doing them and things like that. So yeah, totally get both of you guys on that.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when I first started, I hear people say this all the time. Like people who are well into their career, they'd be like, I don't watch this at all. And I was like, how in the world could you not watch this? This is the coolest job in the world. And obviously, still love the job, but it's like you do need a bit of a balance. And I think that's like one of the like hardest things. Still, I feel like I personally am dealing with on a day-to-day is like finding that proper work-life balance. So
totally,
it's cool that you have your different podcasts and the watercoloring classes. So definitely be asking you for some painting advice. It might be the next Bob Ross.
I don't know that I'm qualified, but yeah, I'm still learning.
So very cool, very cool. And so now we talked about future goals, but as you are going through this year, the year is almost over. And what are some of the projects that you have coming up for WSHU that you'd like to plug?
Well, I'm kind of like in a light period right now, so I get to do some of my own reporting, which is really great, and I'm lucky to have a boss who lets me do stories about all the things that I'm like super nerdy about. So I've just been doing like trying to do stuff that's just as informative and interesting as it is fun. So I did like a bunch of stories on birds over the summer. I'm working on something about the wedding industry right now.
Oh,
I got a story
Aaron's getting married next month.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to talk. You can tell me all about it. What else? I'm trying to do something on pickleball in a couple weeks. So I'm just
that's been booming.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And there's facilities popping up everywhere. So we have a lot of serious news going on in the world right now. So I'm just trying to lighten it up. That's
you got any wedding advice for him?
Well, I'm learning that everything is very expensive. I'm sure you can you can relate to that. Yeah.
Trust me, I understand that one.
That's what the story is going to be all about, is especially post-COVID with inflation, how much things are changing. I find it very fascinating.
Yes, we got quoted once for flowers, and I was like, are these flowers made of gold?
Right.
Like, why are flowers so expensive? But you learn new things every day. So I will definitely be on the lookout for that. But we'd love to thank you for joining us, being our first.
I got a fun question though, because it's been on my mind since you've been reporting. So how about what are your thoughts on this alien talk?
On the alien talk?
Yeah, with them discovering alien, quote unquote, they said they discovered aliens.
Honestly, I'm really trying to ignore it because it's gonna give me anxiety. Like I said, after work, I'm not reading the news. Like I'm done, but.
Every time you kept on saying about the news, like the alien thing just kept on popping in my head, so I had to ask you.
Yeah, if that comes across like my Instagram or something, I'm like swipe. Like I don't want to know. Not interested.
Oh, you're gonna be the new aliens guy, like that.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the question at the end. Alien, you believe in aliens?
Maybe I'll do a story on that next.
I don't know. It was weird. I don't know if you guys seen the pictures, but they were weird.
Yes.
Yes. I saw
Again,
one.
exactly why I was swiped.
Yeah. But yes, Sabrina, thank you for being our very first guest.
Yes,
it has been a pleasure having you. Looking forward to seeing some of these stories. Definitely checking out this wedding story. If you have any other tips, save some money because my pockets are hurting. But thank you again.
Thank you guys so much. This was so fun.
Of course. This is our very first episode of What SHU Doing.